You're watching Newsnight here on Arise News. I'm Diron Onifade in the Nigerian capital, Abuja. The presidential amnesty program for former Niger Delta militants is expected to be given a new fillip with a change of leadership announced this week. Paul Boro, a retired brigadier general, was given the boot, and Professor Charles Dokubo of the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs named the new coordinator. Although no reason was given for the change, the president directed the National Security Advisor to carry out a full investigation into the activities of the amnesty program from 2015 to date, including allegations of financial impropriety and other acts detrimental to the objectives of the amnesty program. Allegations of corruption and ineptitude have always dogged the amnesty program. Kingsley Kuku, who Paul Boro succeeded, has been out of the country since 2015 after evading a summon by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission on allegations of massive looting of the funds meant for the amnesty program. Now, what is the problem with the amnesty program, and how can it deliver on its objective? Tony Uranta, member of the National Working Committee of the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF, he joins me now for some perspectives. Tony, good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, another leadership change in the amnesty program. It's like a revolving door. Did you see this coming? And why?
No. First of all, I'd like us to rephrase words. I don't think Boro was given the boot. Let's say he was relieved.
He was eased out.
He was eased out.
Okay.
And the program itself is not the DDR process, which is what is domiciled under the office of the chairman of the amnesty program.
Remind me, what is DDR?
That's disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration and rehabilitation. That is just one arm, one finger of the 5 fingers that the amnesty resolution that was granted by President Yar'Adua in 2009 brought out. There were other arms like equity participation by oil-producing communities, like infrastructural development. I was on 2 of those subcommittees, but because of, let me call it, apathy and intentional ineptitude on the part of some members of the previous administration, those 4 of the 5 fingers became dormant, and only the DDR finger became known as the amnesty program. That is the program of rehabilitation after they have demobilized and disarmed them, of now rehabilitating, reintegrating these people.
Yeah, but they stated what is public that accounted for this change in leadership.
Yes.
Now, the government is talking about financial impropriety and act detrimental to the objectives of the amnesty program.
Yes. Again,
something went wrong.
Again, like you said at the beginning, you said the program, or this arm that we know as program, has always been dogged. No, the tenure of Timi Alaibi, and he was the man who started this program. He was special advisor on the Niger Delta and chairman of the program. His tenure was not dogged with corruption claims.
Okay,
but
we know that the EFCC is looking for Kingsley Kuku.
Yes, we know that Kuku has, according to the EFCC, a lot of questions to answer. But the Boro issue, yes, there have been complaints, but there have been complaints mainly by groups that were not captured originally in the program. The program ended up capturing about 31 or so thousand. But then there, you know, everything. Nigeria is a comprador economic system. So everything devolves from government. And the moment everybody sees that this is a successful program, there's the attitude of let's participate, or let's, in the local parlance, chop out of it. So more and more people have tried to get into the system.
To chop.
But even the 30-something thousand people that were originally captured in the Obubra demobilization and mine processing attempts have not fully been taken care of up to date. So we still have a few tens of thousands of disgruntled elements out there.
So are you saying now that the new leadership, these are the issues to focus on?
General Boro, because you see the amnesty, this program, this particular office of the amnesty program is really a security process, a program that needs a strong sense of conflict resolution knowledge. And Boro had it, worked in Liberia, he headed ECOMOG and all that. But also, we must admit that Professor Charles Dokubo has a lot of it too. He's one of our best experts in conflict resolution in the National Institute of International Affairs. Now, but like, I would advise him, he has to start by carrying out an audit of personnel who are in his office. What are they doing? Why are they there? Are they necessary? He has to carry out an audit of assets of the office. What assets has the office got? Who is in control of them? And are they being used as effectually as they should be used? Now, when it starts from that point of view, let's leave out whatever audits the presidency, EFCC, the NSA have been ordered or are carrying out on the borough administration. When he himself starts with that, on that footing, then he will start with a better knowledge of how to manage the stakeholder management process interface.
Anyway,
of that office.
I mean, we wish Professor Dokubo well. Let me just take something of a general nature. I mean, this program was started by President Yaradua in maybe 2009, I believe. By now, the dividends should start showing. Can you just, you know, give us some kind of heads up on the dividends of this amnesty program? Are people benefiting beyond sharing money and all the people who are being trained and all those things? Are they now contributing to the economy, to society generally in the Niger Delta, particularly, and in Nigeria? Yes,
in the stage they're at right now, at least the stated state they're at, is the stage of empowerment. That is, people who have been trained in particular fields, especially artisans, and say in the fields of agriculture, fish farming, and so on, are now being empowered to become entrepreneurs. In fact, that is the goal of the office at the moment, to now move them out of the employment-seeking field into the employer's wealth creation field. Now, they are carrying it out, but that is the area in which we are now hearing complaints that maybe some people are not letting the proceeds or the fundings get down to the real beneficiaries as they should. But we shall not have a full, an optimal benefit of the program until and unless the other four fingers are brought in. Because you see,
can you just mention these four fingers for us in brief?
Yes,
just to mention because of time.
Because to start with, what you are doing with just this one finger is you are justifying violence. You are saying it's good to carry arms and then get demobilized, trained, and come back, get empowered, become an employer, which is good on its own. But what about those millions of youths and other Niger Deltans who never carried arms, who are agitated, who are also disenfranchised and disgruntled? Those people were the ones that were supposed to have been taken care of through the areas of, one, infrastructure development, that's one finger. Two, equity, participation in ownership of the proceeds, in ownership, equity participation in the oil and gas industry, and also benefits directly from, say, people who own oil blocks but are private individuals and do not intend to expand their equity holdings. Then you give out a certain percentage to those oil producing communities in the Niger Delta or oil impacted communities, because, and that would spread, as it was debated, it was nearly put into the PIB, that would spread even beyond the Niger Delta, where oil pipes traverse the whole of Nigeria. Now, you also have issues of pipelines and other facilities security, which was abused in a sense because people, they started giving it to individuals. And this was not the original agreement we had with President Yar'Adua. Those, the securing of facilities was supposed to be negotiated between the government and the communities.
All right.
So now the communities have been kept out, and in certain few individuals have become billionaires.
Let me pick up a particular item, which is the area of infrastructure.
Yes.
I want to believe that the NDDC is also doing a lot of those things.
Yes.
So maybe if the NDDC is taking that as its principal objective, then Amnesty may now think, okay, let's focus on something else.
I think one of the biggest errors in the psyche of the Nigerian mind is thinking that the NDDC is end all and be all of infrastructure in the Niger Delta. No, all the ministries, departments, and agencies that are national are supposed to play roles in the Niger Delta. But unfortunately, most of them have not been doing so because they all say the NDDC is there to do it. And remember that the NDDC was already owed 1-point-something trillion.
There are other things also happening in the rest of Nigeria that are happening in the Niger Delta.
Of course, there are.
I mean, the Lagos Calabar rail line getting through Port Harcourt, and that's not NDDC.
We accept that. We accept that these things are national.
Okay,
but you see,
in that case, let me just because of time. Should this amnesty be an open-ended thing?
It cannot be.
I mean, so when will it end?
It will end when at least those 30,000 odd people that were captured by the Bubra process are all processed through. Like the presidency had said, oh, it will end in 2016. And we said, no way. You can't stop when you have about 10,000 more people who are awaiting their opportunities to be trained and empowered. Don't take on more if you like. That's another case for another day. But those people you have committed to, finish training, finish empowering, let everything that the office has committed itself to be taken care of. And please, just one thing. If Nigeria thinks they are doing the Niger Delta a favor by doing this, carrying out this program, they have to remember that we lost in 2008 to 9 over 70% of our revenues, national revenues, in less than 3 weeks. And the same thing happened again in 2014 before Pandev stepped in and got the young men and women in the creeks to come to a unilateral ceasefire, and where we met with the president and made demands which the presidency has not yet met to date.
I mean, which is a fantastic thing. The fact that we now have relative peace in the Niger Delta.
Which may not last.
How can we?
Which may not last, because
what will make it last? Let's worry about what will make it last.
It will last when the federal government is more sincere, when the federal government makes commitments and keeps to them. For example, the National Maritime University, which we are happy to hear is going to take off in April, was supposed to take off mid last year. And then when we met with the vice president, long after they had said it would, the Minister of Petroleum even told us it was going to take off in October. The university's commission secretary told us then at the same meeting that he did not think it was possible that it would take off anytime before May this year. Now we have to deal with facts and deal with truth. Stop speculating for political reasons. Stop lying. And this government has, to a large extent, not been fully open, transparent, and accountable to Nigerians.
On that note, Tony Uranta of Pandev, I have to say thank you very much for coming to Newsnight.
Thank you for having me, always.